Good morning, everyone. In the last session, we discussed different types of launching a VPC and connecting them to EC2 instance. We also saw how to assign an elastic IP address to a VPC, virtual private cloud. In virtual private cloud, we assigned it to a NAT gateway as well as a NAT instance. We also connected it to a instance. Now, in this will be the last session for virtual private cloud. Today we will be discussing two topics. Those are network ACLs and security groups. These two provide us security, main security for our virtual private cloud. So let us start today's first topic, security groups. If you have any doubts, ask me. Now, security groups. We already discussed these security groups in EC2, Elastic Cloud Computer. There is not much difference between security groups in Elastic EC2 and virtual private cloud. We can either create them in EC2 or in a VPC dashboard. Now, what are these security groups? These security groups act as a virtual firewall for our VPC or our instance. They provide us with security. They also control inbound and outbound traffic for our servers or virtual private clouds. That means the number of requests we are receiving or the number of responses we are sending. This will be controlled using security groups. Now, in a security group, there are 100 rules, out of which 50 are inbound rules and 50 are outbound rules. We discussed what inbound and outbound rules are. Let me explain it to you again. Inbound rules control incoming traffic, while as outbound rules control outgoing traffic from our VPC. Now, coming to security groups, there are types of security groups. There are two types, or generally we consider security groups in two different scenarios. Let me show you that. Let me share you my screen. Here. Everyone can see my screen, right? Hello? Is my screen visible?
No, we can't.
Wait a minute. Now? Yeah, there are two types of security groups. One is security group for web servers and the other one is security group for databases. Now let us discuss security group for web servers. As you can see here, a security group allows us controls incoming and outgoing traffic of our VPC. Here, using a security group for web server, we allow all the HTTP and all the HTTPS traffic for our web server. Now, coming to a database web server, let me show you that. Here. In database servers, we allow MySQL or MS SQL or RDP kind of traffic for our database server. So these was all about security groups and the type of traffic they allow. Generally, a security groups allows 50 inbound rules and 50 outbound rules, out of which 50 outbound rules are already pre-configured, while as we configure the other 50 inbound rules. Now, there are two ways to create a security group. One is to create through a EC2 dashboard while creating an instance, or the other way is to create through a VPC dashboard. Here you can see security groups, right? Here you can get into security group, and by clicking on create a security group, you can create a security group. Now we'll be demonstrating it later. Now let us discuss the other type of security we are provided with. Those are network ACLs. Generally, a network ACL is a access control, network access control list. It acts as a firewall for our virtual private cloud. There are two ways for providing security to our VPC, virtual private cloud. One is through security groups, which allows traffic, and the second one is network ACLs, that is network access control lists. This acts as a firewall for our VPC. Generally, we use this for additional security. It can be an optional layer, and we use this when we require more security for our VPC or for our instance. Now, when we create this, we set similar rules that are of our security groups. In security groups, we define some rules, inbound rules, like the type of traffic we are allowing. Say, similarly, while creating a network ACL, you'll be asked to define some rules, and in those rules, setting we'll be setting these rules similar to a security group. Now, another important point is every subnet in virtual private cloud must be associated with the access control list. It can be associated with multiple subnets. Now, generally, in the last session, we created a virtual private cloud. We saw that these network ACLs are automatically created. They are automatically associated with our VPC. So in this way, it is simple to create a network ACL as well as virtual private cloud. Now let us see how to let us launch an instance and connect it to a NAT gateway, and let us create security groups and network ACLs. Now, to create a virtual private cloud, you need to get into this launch VPC wizard. Just click it here. Everyone knows there are four kinds of VPCs: VPC with a single public subnet, VPC with the public and private subnets, VPC with the public, private and hardware VPN access, and VPC with only a private subnet and hardware VPN access. We discussed why we use and when we use each type of VPC. Let us create one VPC that contains both public subnet and private subnet. Now here we have to first configure our VPC, virtual private cloud. Let us name it. I'm naming it as PAIM, and in the availability zone, I told you to choose any one of the availability zone. I'm choosing US1A. Now here we have configured our public subnet, and let us configure this private subnet. We have to choose a availability zone. I'm choosing it same US1 East 1A. Let us assign elastic IP. This is the elastic IP we created. I told you how to allocate elastic IP address. That is in VPC dashboard, you'll be having an option. You will be having a resource elastic IP address. Just click it, and that by clicking allocate elastic IP address, you'll be allocated with it. Now, I'm assigning this elastic IP address to a NAT gateway. I'm creating it. Since we allocated it to a NAT gateway, it takes time. Let us wait. So far we discussed what are security groups and what are network ACLs. I hope everyone is clear with it. Does anyone have any doubt?
No.
Yeah. So meanwhile, let us wait. Here we are waiting for a NAT gateway status to become available. It takes time. So here we are creating a VPC which contains a public subnet and a private subnet. We use this kind of VPCs when we require a public subnet to face front facing internet resources and a private subnet for backend resources. And there are other three types. We discussed what are those, when to use those. I told everyone to create a VPC and assign it to a EC2 instance. Did everyone do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, we received a message VPC is successfully created. Let us view this VPC here. Here is our VPC and here are the configurations we gave for our VPC. Now, let us create security group for this VPC. To create a security group, you have to get into VPC dashboard, and here in VPC dashboard, you will be having a resource security group, and click on it. Now just click create security group here. First you have to give a name for your security group. Now we decided to create a web server security group for a web server. I'm naming it as web server. Now in description I'm giving it as web server. Now here is the VPC, we selected it. Now, as we decided to create a security group for our web server, now here, as you can see here, all the outbound rules are predefined. We have to add rules for inbound rules. Now we'll be adding it later. Let us just click on create security group. Security group was created successfully. Now let us view it. So here is our web server security group. Clicking on it, you'll be having all the configurations here. Now click on inbound rules. Click on edit inbound rules. Now here we can add our inbound rules by just clicking add inbound rules. As we created a web server, now we decided to allow the traffic of HTTP and HTTPS. Let us add those. And first, here are different options that we can customize according to our configuration. If you want all traffic, if you want to allow all the type of traffic, then you can just click all traffic. Now as we decided to create a web server type of security group, I'm selecting HTTP. This protocol and port range are predefined, and I'm in description I'm giving HTTP traffic. Now let us add another rule, that is HTTPS. Here it is. Now In description, I'm just HTTPS traffic. Now, as you can see here, we defined inbound rules. Those for our security group for a web server, those are HTTP and HTTPS. Now, by here. Just get back to your security group. Now, this is our security group for our web server, and we allowed the traffic that is HTTP and HTTPS. Now, let us create another security group for database. You just have to click create security group, and now I'm giving it as database. Here in description, database. And let us add inbound rules. That is, if you want a SQL type of traffic, then you can select my MS SQL. And if you want a RDP type, you can select RDP. Let us choose a custom IP. Now, create security group. Here. Here. This is our data security group for databases, and this is the security group for our web server. So this is how we create a security group for our VPC according to our requirement. Now coming to network ACLs. I told you network ACLs are access control lists. They are act as a firewall, and here you can see this is the network ACL automatically assigned to our VPC. I told you that every subnet in VPC must be associated with access control list, that is network ACL. While creating a VPC, we defined two types of subnets. One is the private subnet and the second one is public subnet. So as we created those subnets, this network ACL got automatically assigned for those subnets. As you can see here, this ACL is connected to two different types of subnets. Now, this is how we provide security for our virtual private cloud, that is network ACLs and security groups. Now, in the last session, we weren't able to delete our VPC, right? So let us see how to delete this VPC. Now, for deleting this VPC, I told you we have to just select it, and here in actions, you will be having an option delete VPC. Now, as you can see here, we can't delete this virtual private cloud. This is because we have assigned this VPC to a NAT gateway. So we should first uh, you should first delete that NAT gateway and then come back and delete this one. I'm doing that. Here, after clicking delete, you'll be shown this type of this messages. In that, just click view this NAT gateway, and you'll be redirected to this console. And here you can by just clicking on it and get to actions and delete NAT gate. Click on delete NAT gate. Now it takes time. This is how you delete a NAT gateway. First, we have to delete a NAT gateway, then we have to detach it. Let us wait for our deletion. We can only delete a virtual private cloud when all our resources related to it are deleted first. Now, after deleting this NAT gateway, you can just get into VPCs, and by clicking on it and getting into actions and clicking on delete VPC, you will be deleted. You can delete your VPC. takes time. Now, here our NAT gateway got deleted. Let us get back to VPC dashboard. And in our VPCs, this is our VPC. Let us delete it. We haven't detached this one. Let us detach this too. Here, clicking on delete VPC. Here our VPC got deleted. Now let us disassociate our Elastic IP address to here in VPC dashboard. Here in Elastic IP, let us disassociate it with Elastic IP address is a permanent IP address, and at the moment this IP address got is reserved for us, and no one in this world can use this. I'm just releasing it. So yes, so far we discussed how to create a security group, how to create a network ACL, and how to launch a VPC and how to delete it. And now let us discuss how to practice virtual private cloud in a best way. To use a virtual private cloud in an efficient way, we should always follow the following things. One, we should know when to use a public subnet and when to use a private subnet. There are two types of subnets, public and private subnet. We use a public subnet when our resources in the VPC require an internet connection, and we use a private subnet when the resources in the virtual private cloud don't require an internet connection. So we should know when to use these public subnets and private subnets. And the second point is we should prefer NAT gateways over NAT instances because they are secure. As we saw here, while deleting a VPC, we first had to delete NAT gateway. So NAT gateway is more secure than a NAT instance. And the third one is we should choose our CIDR block or IP address range carefully. That means we should create separate VPCs for separate environment. Like if we have to create a VPC for say development or staging or production environment, then we have to create separate VPCs for each of this development, staging and production environment. Now, apart from these, we should also understand VPC limits. Like we should know how to create and what are limits that we are provided with. Let me explain that. We generally are allowed 5 VPCs per region, 200 subnets per VPC, 200 route tables per VPC, 500 security groups per VPC, 50 inbound or 50 outbound rules per VPC. We have to know these limits, and according to these limits we have to act, and we have to create a virtual private cloud. Now we should also know how to use security groups and how to use network ACLs. When to use a security group, what kind of traffic should be allowed in a security group, what kind of security groups should be created, either security groups for web servers or security groups for databases, how to use this network ACLs, network access control use, when to attach them, and how to use them. Now, but this is how we can maintain a virtual private cloud in an efficient way. Now, coming to VPC costs. Generally, we are charged per hour based on our usage. Now, if we use a virtual private cloud for an hour, then we'll be charged according to it. Now in this R, there are different kinds. If we create a VPN, virtual private network, it is charged per hour. And if we create a NAT gateway, we are charged per NAT gateway hour. There are different costs for different resources that we created in our virtual private cloud. So this was all about a virtual private cloud. Let us recall all the concepts we discussed in this virtual private cloud. Now, virtual private cloud comes under service, networking and content delivery. This service we use when we require, if we want to direct connection to AWS, then we use AWS Direct Connect. Now, while logging into Amazon Web Service Console, you'll be having a service called networking and content delivery. In that service, we have a virtual private cloud. Now, as I told you, compute service satisfies infrastructure as a service, and this networking and content delivery service satisfies both the other two service models. Those are private platform as a service and software as a service. Now we use this networking and content delivery service because it is most secure, and it can provide us with high network availability, and we can have high performance using this. And if we want to broadcast globally, then we use this networking and content delivery service. Apart from these, there are three categories in this networking and content delivery service. Those are network application, network connectivity and application delivery. And apart from this, we discussed virtual private cloud, that is VPC. Virtual private, generally we use VPC when we require resource isolation. That means we require a private virtual cloud that can be only accessed by ourselves. Now this virtual private cloud, there are three main benefits. Those are, it is most secure, as we have security groups and network ACLs. Apart from these, it is easy to create a VPC, and we can easily customize our VPC, virtual private cloud. Now in virtual private cloud, there are different numerous resources provided. As you can see here in VPC, these are different resources provided. We discussed each and every resource, and out of these resources, we discussed what subnets are. A subnet is a logical subdivision of a IP network, and there are two types of subnets. One is private subnet and the other one is public subnet. We use a private subnet when we don't require an internet connection for our resources, and if we require an internet connection for our resources in the virtual private cloud, then we will be using public subnet. Coming to IP addresses, there are three types of IP addresses: public IP address, private IP address, elastic IP address. Private IP address cannot be accessed through internet, and public IP address can be accessed through internet. While as elastic IP address is permanent IP address. We saw how to create elastic IP address through a VPC dashboard. We saw that there are two ways to launch a VPC. One is an easy way by just clicking here launch VPC, and the second one is by getting into your VPCs and clicking on create VPC. Generally, we don't prefer this type of creation because we have to create a subnet separately. Apart from this, in a simple way, there are four types of VPCs. One is VPC with a single public subnet. One is VPC with public and private subnet, and the other one is VPC with public, private, and hardware VPN access. The last one is VPC with private subnet and hardware VPN access. We also discussed how to use this, how to create this, and when to create what kind of VPC. Apart from this, we discussed security groups, network ACLs, how to create them. We also discussed how to create a VPC how to launch it, and how to assign elastic IP address for a NAT gateway or for a NAT instance, how to assign this VPCs to EC2 instance. Apart from this, we saw how to all the services in Amazon Web Services are integrated. That means we can create a EC2 instance using a VPC dashboard as well as using a EC2 dashboard. We can also create security groups using a VPC dashboard as well as a EC2 dashboard. So that was all about virtual private cloud. I hope everyone is clear. And if you have any doubts, you can ask me.
No.
So yes, I want every one of you to practice virtual private cloud and through your console accounts. I told you how to launch VPC, and I want everyone to launch VPCs. All the 4 types of VPCs, those are virtual private cloud with a public subnet, public and private subnet, public, private, and VPN access, private and VPN access. Create 4 types and attach them to EC2 instance. Before that, create a elastic IP address, assign it to a NAT gateway as well as NAT instance, and attach them to EC2 instance. So that's all about VPC. From tomorrow, we'll be discussing another service, that is Amazon S3, that is related to a database service. And yes, that's all for today. Practice. I want everyone to send screenshots of your created VPCs, virtual private clouds. Yeah, thank you.